Hi Titans, today you'll be learning about exponents. Please make sure that you fill out the notes while you watch the video and bring this worksheet with you to your next math class. Exponents describe a shorthand way to write repeated multiplication. A number formed by repeated multiplication of the same factor is called a power. And we use an exponent and a base to write a power. Let's talk more about what those words mean. The 2 is the base, and that's the number that's being multiplied. The 3 is the exponent, and the exponent tells you how many times to multiply the base. So 2 to the third power means you're going to take the base and multiply by 2 3 times. 2 times 2 times 2, which gives you 8. My favorite mistake that a lot of people make is they think the exponent means to multiply, but 2 times 3 is not what we're looking for. The exponent tells us how many times to multiply the base by itself. Next, let's talk about how to read a power. So when you look at this 6 here, and this exponent is 2, the way that we read that is 6 squared. We can only say 6 squared when the exponent is 2. So 6 is the base, and 2 is the exponent. There are other ways to say 6 squared. 6 to the power of 2. 6 raised to the second power, or 6 multiplied by itself 2 times. To write 6 squared in expanded form, we multiply 6 by itself 2 times. When we evaluate that, we call that standard form, which would be 36. 7 with an exponent of 3 can be read as 7 cubed, 7 to the power of 3, 7 raised to the third power, or 7 multiplied by itself 3 times. 7 is the base, and 3 is the exponent that's attached to the base. If we write 7 cubed in expanded form, we would write 7 times 7 times 7. And then multiplying those three numbers together would give us our standard form, 343. Now let's write our exponents as powers. When we write an exponent as a power, we call it exponential form. We do not need to evaluate or write the answer in standard form. You only need to write the problem with an exponent. So for number 1, we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. How many times is 3 being multiplied by itself? 5 times. So the answer is 3 to the 5th power. The 3 is the base, and the 5 is the exponent. The exponent is always written smaller. For number 2, we have 8 times 8 times 8. Take a moment to answer number 2 and see what you get. The answer to number 2 is 8 to the third power, or 8 cubed. Now for number 3, 6 does not have an exponent. However, it's an invisible number 1. So 6 is the same thing as 6 to the first power. So when you write that as an exponent, you can write 6 to the first power, or you could just write 6. Now number 4 can be a little bit tricky. We're taking 4/5 times 4/5 times 4/5 times 4/5. Since the whole entire fraction is being multiplied by itself 4 times, you might think you can write your answer as 4/5 to the 4th power, but that's technically not correct. Because the entire fraction is being multiplied 4 times, we must put parentheses around the fraction. If we don't, then what it looks like is the 4 is being multiplied 4 times, but the 5 is just once. So always put parentheses around your fractions if they're being multiplied repeatedly. For number 5, we're going to evaluate powers by writing them in words first and then expanded form to find the answer. So for number 5, we have 9 squared. Another way to write that is 9 to the second power. Let's write that down. In expanded form, that's the same thing as saying 9 times 9, and 9 times 9 is 81. For number 6, we have 2/3 to the third power, or we can say 2/3 cubed. In expanded form, we would write 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3. Now we haven't talked about fractions yet, but to multiply fractions, we multiply the numerators first and then the denominators. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So 2/3 cubed is equivalent to 8/27. Number 7, that would be written as 1 to the 5th power. You can also say 1 to the power of 5. Now be careful with this one. When you expand it, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Some students might say 5, but we're multiplying 1 5 times, so the answer is 1. And finally, number 8, 7 to the 0 power. This is a very special case that we'll talk about further in class tomorrow. Any number to the 0 power is actually equivalent to 1. So 7 to the 0 power is equivalent to 1. Again, we will talk about why this happens tomorrow in class. Please rewatch this video if you need to fill out any of your notes and put this back in your binder and bring to class tomorrow. Thanks for watching.